I think a lot of people have become disillusioned with the voting process in this country, especially at the federal level. Do you think in 2015 your vote matters?
Oh, I absolutely think that our votes matter. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
how many different ways do people in this country have to be shown that their vote simply does not matter?
RNC Standing Rules Committee member and an unbound delegate from North Dakota told CNBC's Rebecca Quick that Republican voters do not choose their presidential nominees.
The media has created the perception that the voters will decide the nomination, and that's the concept, that's the conflict here. Political parties choose their nominee, not the general public.
It's very clear that if it goes to a contested election, it could walk out, and anyone could be the actual candidate who is nominated by the party, not necessarily the front runner or even the second place.
Well, at the end of the day, people are under the misconception that it's the results of the caucus and the results of the primary that determines who becomes the nominee. In actuality, it's the delegates at the national convention.
Hillary Clinton lost to Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire by 22 percentage points, the biggest victory in a contested Democratic primary there since John F. Kennedy. But it looks as though Clinton and Sanders are leaving the Granite State with the same number of delegates because Clinton has the support of New Hampshire's superdelegates, these party insiders. What do you tell voters who are new to the process, who says this makes them feel like it's all rigged?
Well, let me just make sure that I can clarify exactly what was available during the primaries in Iowa and in New Hampshire. The unpledged delegates are a separate category. The only thing available on the ballot in a primary and a caucus is the pledged delegates, those that are tied to the candidate that they are pledged to support, and they receive a proportional number of delegates going into our convention. Unpledged delegates exist really to make sure that party leaders and elected officials don't have to be in a position where they are running against grassroots activists. We are,
as a Democratic Party, really highlight and emphasize inclusiveness and diversity at our convention, and so we want to give every opportunity to grassroots activists and diverse, committed Democrats to be able to participate, attend, and be a delegate at the convention.
I'm not sure that answer would satisfy an anxious young voter, but let's move on.
Parties pick the winners of elections before they even happen. It's a process called gerrymandering. If they're allowed to redraw the lines however they want, they can still win. And this happens every election year in America.
Sounds like cheating.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. In 2012, Pennsylvania Republicans lost the popular vote, but they still won 72% of the seats in their state by drawing weird-looking districts like this. And Maryland Democrats did the exact same thing when they drew this grotesquely unfair district.
What happened in Waldo County, Maine? In Waldo County is a town called Belfast, Maine. Local newspaper there talked to the guy who ran the Republican caucus in the town of Belfast. But when he called the state Republican Party to report how Belfast had voted, the state Republican Party told him over the phone, oh, actually, they already had those numbers. The Belfast chairman said they showed Romney winning in Belfast. Really? But I'm the guy who's calling you to report what those numbers are. Mitt Romney really had to win Maine. And the Republican Party in Maine this weekend said that he did. I don't think he did.
There's just a lot of confusion. They said, well, let's have a recount. They said, well, we can't have a recount. They just write these numbers down on pieces of paper and we throw them away afterwards. So it's that kind of stuff that makes you suspicious.
And your testimony is under oath.
Yes, sir.
And the testimony you've given is true.
Yes, sir.
If you had been asked, you or others with your professional expertise had been asked to design a protective program that would protect the Ohio elections from against such software to fix the election, could you have done so?
If we've been asked to make a program that could fix the election, sure, anybody can do it. If we've been asked to make a program that could fix the election, sure, anybody can do it.
Given the availability of such vote rigging software and the testimony that has been given under oath of substantial statistical anomalies and gross differences between exit polling data and the actual tabulated results, do you have an opinion whether or not the Ohio election, presidential election, was hacked?
Yes, I would say it was.
Certainly on the federal level, yeah, I think I think it's really important that people vote. I mean, that's what part of what makes our country our country.
I would agree. I think our vote absolutely matters. I think that people on the federal level, when you're talking about a presidential election, people in this country don't necessarily understand that the popular vote is not what elects a president, that the Electoral College is what elects a president, and they don't really understand how that dynamics work. So do I feel that my vote matters and I'm making a statement? Absolutely. Do I feel that my vote can ultimately change the outcome of a presidential election based on an Electoral College? No, I don't.
Do you think that your vote in the federal elections matters?
Does it matter? I really think it does. I think they already have their answer to everything already, so, you know.
Now it's just being rubbed in your face.